So today we have this Schecter MV6. It's slightly unusual looking in terms of how its pickups are lined up, but it's really not as odd a guitar as it seems at first glance. But let's talk about some of the specs and construction, and then we'll get into some tone samples. So let's start with the neck. This guitar actually comes with two variations. You can get a roasted maple neck with a maple fretboard. This is a winging neck with an ebony fretboard. It actually feels very, very similar to the Schecter Aaron Marshall. I did a video on that a while back. I'll put a link to it here. So you've got a 14-inch radius with extra jumbo nickel frets. You've got locking tuners here and a medium C kind of neck profile. So not super thick, not super thin, just pretty comfortable. The fretwork feels really well done. There's no ragged edges or anything. The nut is cut pretty well. Overall, the construction of the neck is really well done. The body is basswood. It is quite heavy. This is probably at least an 8.5-pound guitar. The Aaron Marshall was a similar weight, so I do wish it was a little lighter. You've got volume and tone. You've got a Schecter branded tremolo, and that brings us to the pickup configurations. So what looks like a single coil in the neck and a humbucker in the bridge is actually 3 single coils. And the way they've got the selection set up is when you're in the 5 position, you get the neck single coil. The 4 position is actually all 3 single coils in parallel. The 3 position is this single coil and this single coil in parallel. The 2 position is this single coil by itself. And then the 1 position is these 2 single coils in series. So basically like a humbucker. I will point out that in the 5, 4, and 2 positions, you don't get hum canceling. So when you have the single coils by themselves in the 5 and the 2, obviously you'll get a 60 cycle hum. But when you actually have all 3 in parallel, you'll get a 60 cycle hum because you're not getting the cancellation. When you have the 2 pickups, you'll get the cancellation. And obviously when you do the 2 pickups in series, they cancel each other. So let's check out how this guitar sounds. I'm using my Neural DSP Quad Cortex. I've got a mix of some Fendery kind of clean tones, along with maybe some mid-gain Dumble kind of stuff, and then some lead tones that are kind of in the Neil Sean, Eric Johnson kind of realm. We'll start on clean tone. I'm on the neck pickup and single coil, and it sounds like this. So you can hear these aren't super stratty single coils. They have a little more output, a little more mid-range, a little more warmth to them. So if you're looking for kind of that stereotypical strat kind of sound, these pickups won't necessarily get you there. But if you want something maybe a little more modern without getting too far, I think these will fit the bill. Let's try the 4 position, which is all 3 pickups in parallel. So you get a little bit of a quack there with all the pickups together, but not a whole lot. If you go to 3 position, which is the 2 pickups in parallel, you get more of a quack. And then we go to the 2 position, we get our single coil in the bridge. And then in the 1 position, we've got the 2 in series, so basically a humbucker. definitely a good mix of tones available here. You can hear with some of the clean tones, I think the pickups are more suited towards kind of classic rock blues kind of tones than, say, kind of high gain or metal playing. But let's add a little bit of gain and see how that sounds. So again, we're on our neck pickup right now. We'll try the 2 position. Here's the 3. Here's the bridge single coil. On the lower gain settings, you can really tell the difference between the single coil and the humbucker. What you'll find is as we add more gain, that difference will become less and less. So let's add more gain. This is using a pedal capture of a J-Rocket HRM, which is kind of a double in a box kind of thing. Get the in-between position. Here's our bridge single. And here's our bridge humbucker. You can hear, you can still tell the difference, but as you add more gain, it becomes less and less. So let's go ahead and add more gain. It's kind of a rhythm tone. Here's the bridge humbucker. Here's the single coil. Here's all 3 pickups in parallel. So let's try some leads. Here's the bridge and humbucker. Here's the single coil in the same tone. So you can definitely hear the difference still between the humbucker and the single. And when you're playing, you can feel it because you're getting a lot less compression from the single coil. Let's try the neck pickup. So it's still a good amount of clarity with the neck pickup, even on the low strings, on the low notes. This neck pickup doesn't get real muddy. So overall, overall, I think this is a really well put together guitar. The fit and finish is excellent. All the controls feel very solid. The fretwork is really well done. You know, these locking tuners from Schecter, I've had these on multiple guitars and they always do really well. You've got the nice rounded neck joint here that makes it easy access to the upper frets. It is a little heavy. Like I said, it's probably 8.5 to 9 pounds. I wish they could cut maybe a pound off of this thing, but that's something else I found with the Indonesian Schecters. Same with my Aaron Marshall, is they tend to be a little heavy. The pickup configurations are very versatile. I do wish they would switch the 4 and 3 positions. I'd like the 4 position to be like it is on Strat and have the 2 pickups in parallel, and then have the 3 pickups in parallel be the 3rd position. But that's a minor thing. I think these list for about $900, which I think is a good deal. And I think there are some deals to be had even to get a lower price on them. So I think it's a good price for what you're getting. You know, definitely something to consider before you invest in something, say like the Aaron Marshall, which is more like $1,300, I think. You do get stainless steel frets with that and a compound radius neck and things like that. But overall, they're very similar guitars. So if you're looking for something that sounds in that kind of vintagey realm, but still has a modern feel to it, I would encourage you to check this out. And I hope you found this helpful. Thanks for watching.